So Apple did it. They went ahead and released the iPhone SE covertly with a YouTube video drop today. Phone's going to be available for sale on Friday, and a lot of people have been making the rounds kind of breaking this phone down. In this video, I'm going to be doing just that, but in a different way. I want to approach this from a different perspective and just take a look at what the iPhone SE 2 isn't, and then also take a look at what the iPhone SE 2 is, who it's for really, and what this phone has the potential to become for Apple. We're going to talk about all that in this video, so without further ado, let's get started. So yeah, there's been a ton of rumors floating around that Apple would eventually just release the iPhone SE online, similar to what they did with their iPads this year because of everything that's going on with the pandemic that we're currently facing. And that's what they went ahead and did today. The iPhone SE 2 commercial, trailer, whatever you want to call it, dropped on YouTube today. And it's essentially an iPhone 8 with some upgraded internals and a slightly better camera. Really, that's exactly what it is. And a better price tag than the majority or all of the iPhones that are currently out now. So what we'll do is run down the specs of the iPhone SE really quickly so you guys can have an idea of the specifications of this particular phone, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about what it isn't to a lot of people and what it is to some people and what it definitely has the potential to become for Apple. So specification wise, like I said, price is always a feature. So the first feature of this one is that the price is $399 for the base model. You have an A13 Bionic chip processor inside the phone itself. That's basically the same processor you'd find in the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. 64, 128 or 256 gigabyte versions. It's running iOS 13 and it's going to continue to get those iOS updates as you go along. You have Wi-Fi 6, gigabit LTE, a dual SIM capability with eSIM as well. Their biometric is not Face ID, it's actually Touch ID, which is fantastic because I've been asking for Touch ID back on an iPhone for a really long time, so I like that. That's definitely a plus for this phone. It does have wireless charging, lightning connector that's inside, 5-watt charger included. It's IP67 water and dust resistant. And if you're looking at the camera itself, the rear camera is a 12 megapixel single lens that does support HDR and 4K 60 frames per second recording, and your selfie camera up front is a 7 megapixel camera. They do say that it can support portrait mode with an Apple technology that's basically using depth sensing to add that kind of portrait mode type image to the pictures that you're taking. It's an Apple camera. It's probably going to take some really great pictures, especially at this $399 price point. So you kind of get what you pay for, but it's still going to be an upgrade over another $399 phone that doesn't have an Apple camera inside. So with all the technical specs out of the way, one thing I did definitely realize is what this phone isn't. This isn't the next latest and greatest iPhone. It was never intended or meant to be the next latest and greatest iPhone. This phone definitely isn't the sexiest option when you're going to purchase an iPhone. There's going to be a lot more sexier options that have come before it and a lot more sexier options that are going to be definitely coming after it, especially if you're looking at the iPhone 12 or even the iPhone XR that came out about 2 years ago. Definitely looks a little bit more sexier than this. This is basically just a new skin of the iPhone 8, which is a phone that a lot of people loved at the time and a lot of people find very attractive at the time. The design for me just looks a little bit dated nowadays, but again, coming off that this phone is definitely not meant to be their next latest and greatest sexiest phone that you definitely want to pick up as soon as you walk into the store. It is what it is, and it looks all right for what it is. This is also definitely not the phone for the majority of either iPhone users that are currently rocking iPhones now or the Android user that is looking to switch over to iPhone. This may not be the phone for you. Apple has made this phone for a very specific customer base, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But this is definitely not the phone that's going to make you jump ship from an Android device, or it's not the phone that you want to run right out and upgrade or downgrade to if you currently have a newer or an older version of the iPhone. A lot of people may be looking to upgrade to a different version, and definitely not this particular version of the iPhone. But we can take a look at what this phone is. This is a budget level iPhone. I know it's $400, but it's $400 in a marketplace where phones can cost over $1,200 nowadays. So if you do the math, that is actually a budget device, and this fits firmly into now the iPhone tree of different phones that are available. You have this one at the very bottom, then you have phones like the iPhone XR, the iPhone 11 that are in the middle tier, and then you have your Pro versions. And I think Apple kind of wanted to gear this in this direction to begin with. They wanted to service all markets, and this is definitely definitely what this phone does. It services a specific market. This is for the people who didn't want to upgrade to the latest and greatest iPhone, for people who waited 3 or 4 years to upgrade their iPhone but didn't necessarily want the newfangled Face ID contraptions. And I'm talking like that because they're definitely gearing this towards older people or some younger people who don't want the newest phones. They just want an iPhone experience without breaking the bank. And this is definitely what this does. It gives you that base level iPhone experience and it doesn't hurt your pockets too much. $400 still kind of hurts some people's pockets, especially in this day and age where people are losing their jobs and everybody's kind of unemployed. $400 is a lot of money still. Don't get me wrong on that. It's definitely less than $1,000 or $800. And if you wanted a brand new iPhone with an iPhone experience that's going to last you a couple of years, because if you look at this, it's technically still a new iPhone. It's rocking iOS 13. So you know it's going to be getting consistent updates for the next couple of years. If you spend $400 on it, you have a brand new iPhone. You still have all the peripherals that are going to be compatible with it. Your Apple Watches, your AirPods, your AirPod Pros, anything that you want in that Apple ecosystem, in that Apple experience is going to be compatible with this iPhone for a really long time. You don't have to worry about it going out of style like some of the other ones. If you hanged on to like an iPhone 8, you're worrying about when that's going to be coming to end of life. This is a brand new iPhone. It's going to be out for a really long time. If you want a brand new iPhone experience in 2020 without breaking the bank, this is probably going to be the way to go. And Apple definitely knows that, and that's why this has the potential to be their top selling iPhone for like the next couple of years. If you really think about it, people gravitate towards a cheaper device, and cheaper in an Apple perspective is definitely going to be better than cheaper in some other companies' perspectives. If you look at this iPhone versus maybe a cheaper Android phone, then you definitely have a competition in that market, especially if someone doesn't care about the operating system. They just want a device that works. But maybe they were priced out of a $700 to $800 to $1,000 iPhone and they were stuck or regulated to buying an older version or iPhone or a cheaper Android phone that was available. Now this market has opened up for Apple, and that opens them up to a bunch of new customers that probably were not looking at the iPhone before because it was such a premium market to get into. This has the potential to be Apple's buster. It has the potential to become one of the best selling iPhones that Apple's ever released because of the price point. It's an updated internals, sort of, but it's pretty close to being updated internals. The camera, again, I'm sure is going to be more than serviceable for the majority of things that people are going to want to take on this particular phone, but it just works, and it's an Apple device that fits into the Apple ecosystem in 2020, and it's $400. You really can't beat that price nowadays. Quick recap. It's not the sexiest iPhone that's ever going to be coming out anytime soon within the next couple of months. It's not the most desirable iPhone that's going to be available to most of you, or people who are watching this video may not give a crap about this particular iPhone because it just doesn't fit you. It's not for you. You're not the customer that Apple's trying to reach with this particular iPhone, but trust me, there are tons of them out there, and they're going to see it and they're going to run into it, and mark my words, this phone is going to sell like hotcakes because it's an iPhone that's $400, that's brand new with some cool internals and a good camera that's compatible with everything Apple. That's like the perfect storm of technology. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think this is going to be one of Apple's top selling phones? Are you interested in this phone for whatever reason? What current iPhone do you own that you either want to upgrade or downgrade to or from? Go ahead and comment in the comment section of this video. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with that bell for notifications so you don't miss or release some cool, helpful content like this one. And also drop us a like because that definitely helps the channel and the video itself. Until next time, guys, you can check out some information that we have about the iPhone 12 here. And this is something YouTube believes you'd enjoy watching. Thank you so much again for checking out the video. And as always, stay safe and peace out.